the New York Rangers go down to Pittsburgh Penguins 4-2. I'm here to talk with you about that today. Of course, I'm a bit disappointed. Why wouldn't I be disappointed? This game was an epic fail for the New York Rangers in many, many ways. Could it be the injury of Ryan McDonough that Pierre Maguire droned on and on about? Could it be the lack of production by one Rick Nash? The team looked a lot like the Pittsburgh Penguins did in the first period of the first game. The Rangers have never fully recovered from the second game after Marc-Andre Fleury, who didn't have such a hot game this game. I thought he looked soft in net at times, but he got the job done. The Rangers were able to break through. They figured him out, and it still wasn't enough. It is amazing to me how important, and you got to give Maguire credit on this, Ryan McDonough is to this team. Because without him, it actually seems to affect the rest of the team, the rest of the defensive team, the Girardis, Strawmans, severely. Even Mark Stahl. The blue line, one of the Rangers' strengths for the past couple of years, was their greatest weakness. And with these injuries and making these really fundamental errors, usually right after a goal, right after they score, right after they seem to put something together. I mean, when Hagelin scored his goal early in the first, the next thing he saw is, I mean, Penguins jerseys just swarming the net all over the place. This has been a pathetic performance, and if you ask me, the season's over for the New York Rangers. There's not, it's not reasonable to assume that the Rangers can come back from something like this. They just seem to be too beat up. They probably got Chris Kreider just a little too late. And their highest paid star it can't seem to produce during the playoffs. And that's it. And that's the end of the season. Oh, you're being, you're too down on them. You're too big. No, this is it. It's over. It's done with. The season is finished. Are Ryan McDonough's injuries going to heal between now and the next game? Likely not. Give him credit for hanging in there as well as he has. Is Rick Nash going to turn it on all of a sudden and do the things that we'd all expect him to when he's in good form in the regular season? Well, folks, it doesn't look like Rick Nash is a playoff performer. He's 29 years old. Yeah, he missed a lot of playoffs that he probably would have made with another team. Or the fact maybe if he had been around stronger players in Columbus, sort of guide him. I think that's one thing that's kind of underestimated. Talented players like Sidney Crosby had Mario Lemieux, and they were lucky to get a Evgeny Malkin shortly afterwards. Really great players. I mean, Eric Lindros really never had anybody lead him. He was expected to take the Philadelphia Flyers on almost as soon as he got there. He never won a Stanley Cup. Sidney Crosby did. And I really wonder that the time that Nash spent in Columbus, he may have requested a trade or got out of there just a little too late because he's not a big game performer. He was invisible. Invisible. Barely a contribution. I couldn't even see a defensive contribution out there. I mean, if you can't put it in, you might as well play back. I mean, there's just nothing going on out there. Henrik Lundqvist, spectacular play. Played well. Kept it from being ridiculous. Did the Pens blow me away? No. Did they play well? Sure. It's impressive to watch Chris Tang, who picked up an assist late in the second. After the but that's another thing. Brandon Sutter scores a shorthanded goal right after the Rangers get a power play. When the Rangers get a power play, the Rangers are 30-something power plays in a row, something they looked very strong with in the Philadelphia series. It's over, folks. It's over. The New York Rangers this year. Nash, the patience of one ran thin, and I don't know how much this matters. I don't know what kind of character Nash is, but the Ranger fans have had enough. And you heard the boo birds out there, as the great John Davidson, former Ranger announcer and current Columbus Blue Jacket, general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, used to say. The boo birds are out, and they're well deserved. They're well deserved. It was nice to see Chris Kreider. I mean, he seemed to be the only guy that was really, and Max Zuccarello as well. That was firing on all cylinders. Fleury wasn't sharp tonight, guys. This could have been taken advantage of, but it can't be done. And maybe just this injury to McDonough, he did not look sharp at all. And I don't think it was because of lack effort. Because I think Ryan McDonough is a future Norris Trophy candidate, especially with Pierre talking him up, old Frenchy McFrenchman all the time. I'm sure that'll work in his favor. Old, like him or hate him, Pierre's got a big voice in the NHL. So if he talks you up, it's good news. It's very good news for you. Not looking good. Let's go over the game just a little bit. Evgeny Malkin with his 5th goal of the playoffs with assist from Sidney Crosby. 2:31 into the first. Sort of a spin-around goal. Looked like a defensive lapse. Pittsburgh goes up 2-1. The Rangers finally show some life when Carl Hags gets a pass from Ryan McDonough, blows through the blue line and most of the defense, and puts an unbelievable rocket of a wrist shot in the upper left-hand corner of the net. Rangers showing some life, but immediately the Pittsburgh Penguins were on the attack. The Penguins don't look lost anymore. I really can't say they look lost. They look well led. They look like They look like they have a mission. They look like they're in it to win it. And I thought the Rangers were going to be able to take advantage of some of their lackluster play. The fact that Crosby's not being able to do well, but no, the Pens are showing me something. Can they beat the Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens? I don't know, but I definitely think they can beat the New York Rangers, and they'll probably put an end to this misery next game in Pittsburgh, Game 5. It's funny because I had the Rangers in 5. Not so good with the picks this year. With little 2 minutes to go, going into the 3rd minute, Brandon Sutter gets a shorthanded goal. Rangers power play looks awful. One of the greatest weaknesses of the team so far. I probably should. I have this wonderful meme. Let's see if I can call it up over there. And with 7 minutes into the 3rd, Jussi Jokinen gets assist from James Neal, and that makes it 3-1. Now it's looking like it's over. and 13. Actually, I'm not reading this correctly. Do have to do a refresh here on my page. Oh, look, maybe smaller. And then Matt Zuccarello, who I also thought was one of the few Rangers that had a pretty good game, makes it 3-2. Rangers show some life, and only a minute later, Chris Kunitz with his third of the playoffs with assists from Malkin and Crosby, make it 4-2. Game, set, match. That's it. That's it. Henrik Lundqvist finishes up with 27 saves. And Mr. Marc-Andre Fleury with a whopping 15 saves and 2 goals against. Of course, Lundqvist with 27 and 4 goals against. What do you think about Cam Talbot in Game 5? Maybe not so much as a punishment to Crosby or a punishment to Lundqvist, but it's just to wake this team up. There's something to wake up. I mean, can they really not function without Ryan McDonagh? I mean, I know the guy's valuable, but how deep are the Rangers? If this guy doesn't, I mean, if he can't stop guys one-on-one, there's somebody else should be able to step in his spot, like a Stoll, like a Strollman. Rangers aren't that deep if that's the case. On the flip side, I thought Crystal Tang looked quite good. But I didn't think they were unbeatable, the Penguins. And I think we have a Game 1 New York Ranger team versus Philadelphia Flyers. I think this team could basically handle Pittsburgh. But maybe, just maybe, the Flyers just took a lot more out of them than I initially anticipated. Although I think we always underestimate the fact that the amount of series you play in early rounds. Look, it happens before, so don't send me an email with a stupid example. But teams blow through their first and second round opponents that go on to win the Stanley Cup. They don't play Game 7s. Well, Boston did in 2010. Yeah, it was a freak. 9 times out of 10, strong Stanley Cup contenders and winners blow through the first and second round. It's just a matter. The real matchup is usually in the Eastern Conference or Western Conference final. They blow through it, or they have a little trouble, like a Chicago going down 2-0, and then they blow through them. Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, they drop a game 4-1 to the Minnesota Wild. I don't think that's any big deal whatsoever. I think they're going to pick up and pick them apart, just like last time. Chicago in 5. But I took them in 4 because I had to be a hotshot. Hey, you want to give me a call? You got opinions. You're suffering. You're a Ranger fan. Give me a ring. It's free. It's on Skype. Hook it up. Free. Let me know how you're feeling. I know I'm feeling pretty shitty. I only got a few more hours to my next show. The Joe Cronin Show. It's a good time for an ad then, huh? You a wrestling fan? Yeah, well, I am. Well, sort of. I put on a pretty good act for Joe. Used to be a bigger one. www.youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. He's the best, the funniest, the best personality. A way to stay informed. And he also has the great encyclopedic mind of Chris Tasevich. And these guys can pick up apart a Raw, a pay-per-view, like no wonder. It's complete, total insanity. Hashtag fact. Joe Cronin, The Joe Cronin Show. And if you stick around to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, you can check out Monetized This, the Guy Talk Show, late night Guy Talk Show with me, Tommy C. Host Joe Cronin and his co-host, Chris Tasevich. This ain't a wrestling show. This is the wildest, wackiest radio. Prank calls, dirty talk, rap battles, and or so all sorts of other wonderful stuff. The wackiest show on the internet for sure. Monetize this. Monetize this. Back with me, Tommy C. What's happening? If you haven't heard it before, maybe you know now. The Rangers have lost. They now are behind, and so the Pittsburgh now leads the Rangers 3-1, going to Game 5 in Pittsburgh. And unless the Rangers have something or Ryan McDonough's injury heals, expect a blowout. That's it. That's all she wrote. Expect a blowout. Bah. Not much fun. Not much fun at all. 3 stars of the game, Evgeny Malkin. Number 1, Brandon Sutter. Number 2, Sidney Crosby. Number 3, Crosby looked good. So Crosby's going to start playing better. Rangers going to go through him. How are they going to stop Crosby with an injured McDonough? And apparently the defenseman can't step in his spot. So much criticism is as much a fact. I'm done with the Rangers. I hope Boston gets their ass in gear. Because I do not want to see them in a final. I do not want to see Crosby with another ring. Make me physically ill. But Rangers don't deserve to beat him, that's for sure. I guess I could go on and on about Rick Nash. Ridiculous. Yeah, at times that Pens are just able to kind of walk to the zone. I don't know. Yeah, the interview that I played with the pregame show with Coach Vigneault, he looked too confident. Now that I'm thinking about it. He asked him about Chris Kreider's return, which he did end up returning. And he said, the reporter said something to the effect of, you look at, hoping he, puts up some scoring. And he was like, yeah, that'd be nice. It didn't look like he had too much confidence in his Rangers team. That being said, I don't think the season was a total failure. Of course, it isn't over yet, but I would expect it to be. But it'd be interesting what they do. I think Rick Nash is probably going to be top of the Ranger list. Personally, what I'd like to really see happen in the Raisins is everybody in upper management get canned. Bring in some new young guys, some guys with some interesting ways to look at hockey, new ways to look at hockey. Shake them up at the top. We've already shook the bottom. We've already fired Tortorella. We've already got rid of players. We've already brought in Rick Nash. At what point if Rick Nash doesn't perform, he's not a playoff performer. At what point is it not general manager Glenn Slater's fault? Glenn Slater is an anomaly to me. After the Oilers were picked apart, because Peter Pockington, who I think is in jail now in the United States, old Peter Puck, Edmonton Oilers, after he just dismantled his team, which there should have been some kind of investigation, giving away one Hall of Famer after another. Paul Coffey, Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, just giving them away. Slater remained manager there forever. And then somehow Wayne Gretzky ends up in the New York Rangers after a failed trade. After Bruce McNall gets in trouble in Los Angeles, he ends up in the Rangers. And the next thing I know, Glenn Slater is the manager of the New York Rangers. And like the Edmonton Oilers, after the Gretzkys and the Messiers and the Andersons and all sorts of other jokers left, they stagnated. The Edmonton Oilers were horrible in the 90s. Laughable. Sort of like not as laughable as they are now, but they're up there. But Glenn Slater kept his job every year. And we've seen this with the Rangers. The Rangers did make the playoffs for 8 years. A lot of coaches changes, a lot of personnel changes, not a general manager change. Nothing of the sort. They make a big move on Rick Nash. The guy can't perform in the playoffs. How is that not? How is this man able to keep his job? He is well into his 70s. It's time to go. I'd rather see some young guys in there with some new ways. I remember, Neil Smith, former 1994 Ranger general manager. He was a young guy when they brought him in, and he had some radical ideas. And he put an epic team together. Top down. I'm sick of corporate assholes. Glenn Slater knows how to suck up the guys like Peter Pocklington, and I can only imagine how he can suck up to MSG. New York's a really perfect place for him. He's hanging on his jobs, like that Joker in Vancouver. Hanging on to his job. That's all it means. Doesn't matter if the team performs well or not. I just got to figure out how to hang on to my job. Well, if his team performs well, doesn't perform well, then he can't hang on to it. Yeah, no, he can. He can. And he's managed to do it. Ridiculous. Redonkulous. Painful. It's a joke. Big joke, haha. Pain in the neck. Absolutely. I'll see if I can get anything off the wire, and we will call it a night. Yes, sir, we will. Not happy, man. And I don't think I'm just saying that they're done just because I'm a little disappointed. It's not that. It's a bigger problem than that. But they're finished. And it's over. And the only thing that's going to change Rangers, if they start taking apart what's upstairs. The problem is upstairs. Rangers game is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard in Pittsburgh this Friday, 2 days from now. Expect their season to be over. Tomorrow night, 7:30, Montreal and Boston continue their epic series. Montreal leads that series 2-1. Boston's going to have to be a little more particular on defense. Make sure these ridiculous breakaways don't happen. I don't expect that to happen. I expect Boston to tighten up. I think that was a freak. Anaheim, Los Angeles. Wait a minute, is this right? I thought it was the other way around. Okay, yeah, that's what I did. LA Kings, hottest team in the league right now. After almost getting swept and doing near impossible, only been done 4 times in NHL history. The Los Angeles Kings now lead the Anaheim Ducks 2-1 in their series. Looks like the Ducks are going to take an unexpected exit as they normally do early in the playoffs. It's a 1 or 2 round exit. We are now, 6 years removed from their last cup? Pronger's gone. Niedermeyer's are gone. What have you. A little bit surprised in the Chicago series. Chicago now leads 2-1 after Minnesota shuts them out 4-0. Briskalov, Ilya Briskalov, guy that I posted retire on the Shot from the Point and Other Crap Facebook site. Well, they only handled 19 shots, but I think that says something about Minnesota's defensive strategy. Also, Matt Cook. Expect Matt Cook to be back pretty soon. He had a press conference today. It's just creepy to listen to that guy talk. Straight up creepy. Don't like hearing from Matt Cook. What a jerk off. Yeah, he sits there and Cook just sits there and talks about Oh, everybody knows that I've just tried to change my game, and it just had a good effect. And I know my teammates know what I was trying to do there. Trying to change the game. You deliberately hurt people. Over and over and over again. And by some fluke, you're able to see little or no time and your most recent incident, which probably ended up... it was the best contribution you could have given, Matt Cook. Take it out, Barry, because... that was probably the difference between one goal in overtime in Game 7. He's out for 2 months. You're still playing. Your injury, this is not, making an effort anymore. This is not a mistake. These aren't freak accidents. It is repeated. And the bizarre thing is because he hasn't been suspended since, in 2011. So long ago that he's not even considered a repeat offender at this point in time. Beats the hell out of me. Painful. Very painful night. What can you do? What can you do? Boy. Well, I think it's time to say goodbye, folks. Listen, make sure you check out Joe Cronin. Make sure you check out JoeCroninShow.com. If you want to hear me, I guess I have to be in a better mood. Go to YouTube.com/Joe Cronin. 12:30. Check out Monetize This. JohnFreemanMusic.com. 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 John Freeman is the official music man for the Shot from the Point program. Yes, he is. And he wrote this little ditty. If you're thinking about getting in podcasting, broadcasting, YouTube, and you need music and you're not like the musical guy, I would check out John Freeman. Music.com. Also, I like tonight, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in with us on Sunday. Me and Joe Cronin. Joe Cronin will be the guest host in for legendary Jake Lee. He's going to go over hockey. Hopefully the Boston and maybe the Rangers are still in it. And we'll be talking about all second round playoff hockey. Joe Cronin, whenever he's hosted before, it's always been fun. So we're going to get him for the whole show. It's good old Joe Cronin. Okay. I think I've had it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out. Like I said, make sure you check out Shot from the Point Live, the most hilarious YouTube podcast, broadcast, hockey show ever. It's simply Correct. Shot from the Point Live. Check it out. Shot from the Point Live, baby. That's what you got to do. Because it's active. All right, everybody. This has been a Shot from the Point Productions. Please check out Shot from the Point Live, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Shot from the Point Productions. Shot from the Point Productions on Facebook. Check us out. Google Plus, Twitter. You get me, Tommy C, SFTP. See you soon, everybody. Hope the games go better from you. Go Boston. Go Bruins. Peace.